Ooh, welcome everyone to the Daily Juice Podcast on the Betting Pros Network. I'm your host, Sean, stacking that money green. Give me a follow on Twitter at Sean T. Green. And as always, the Daily Juice is being brought to you by BetMGM. Use that promo code JUICE and a $10 bet turns into $200. Either team scores a touchdown. Good for college and pro. Restrictions apply. All right, Monday Night Football, let's go. Got a play on the side, 3 of my favorite player props, and yeah, we got the recap. You guys know how it goes. Bing, bang, boom, and we're out of here. All right, 3-2 on the NFL slate, so up, all 2-unit plays, because that's how I roll on football Sundays. Up about 2 units-ish, minus the juice, carry the 3. So, hey, I'm never going to complain about a winning week in the NFL, but let me complain. First off, the Raiders -2. I mean, holy crap, Josh McDaniels. Hey, you're up 20-0. How do you lose that game to the Jacksonville Jaguars? Are you kidding me? And the Jags kept letting them hang around. Still couldn't get it done. Wow, this Raiders, I don't know if McDaniels sees next year. I mean, the way this team is just completely unraveled, completely collapsed. And now I have to update my awesome stat about Trevor Lawrence. Now he is 2-20 when the opposing team allows when his defense allows more than 11 points. So 2-20. Congrats to you, Trevor. Still not believing in the Jags. KC -12.5. I don't know what I was doing there. I was lured in by the siren call of Andy Reid off of a bye that blinded me to the matchup stuff. The D-line, the physicality that the Titans bring to the table is enough to carry that team. I mean, they got nothing really. I mean, Malik Willis had a couple throws, ran the ball a little bit, but impressed. And, I like taking Vrabel. I probably outthought this one a little bit. Got cute here with the reverse. Everyone's gonna think the Titans. I'm gonna take Chiefs. Either way, it was cooked early. Didn't really have to sweat that one out. All right, let's get to the winners. They're always more fun. Pats -4.5. Never in doubt. This was just a beatdown. I mean, Sam Ehlinger on the road in his second start never had a shot against this Pats defense, especially no Jonathan Taylor. That offense is just completely decimated. Their O-line sucks. Like the Colts are in a rough spot here. Patriots, like their offense though still looks pretty bad with Mac Jones. I've yet to see a full game where like Mac Jones has really looked comfortable beginning to end. But kudos to Belichick and the team. Like they're figuring out ways to win. Ramondre Stevenson had some yards, good touchdown. I don't think they're a great team by any means, the Pats, but I think certain spots you're going to want to take them because they do match up well, and their defense is playing pretty strong. Chicago Bears +4.5. This was certainly in doubt throughout the game. Wild game, 35-32 shootout there on my DFS podcast and Sports Gambling Podcast was pointing out. Gave out Justin Fields as my stack there. Him and Darnell Mooney. He got it going to Cole Kmet. I still, and again, I've never been a Tua guy. Always looked to fade Tua, so I was hesitant to take the Bears because I'm like, is this your anti-Tua bias? Ended up working out okay. Game got to be a shootout. Justin Fields, they finally figured out, hey, he's really good at running the ball. Let's let him run the ball. That seems to be working for them. The defense, though, is still very much in question. But Bears get the cover there on the +4.5. Last but not least, Seattle +2. They win outright. Great win by the Seahawks team to go in and beat Arizona. In Arizona, I think I've been really off on Arizona. I think that Saints game may have thrown some people off their scent because, they got that win against the Saints. But really, that was just Andy Dalton, 2 pick sixes. I mean, seeing Kyler yell at DeAndre Hopkins, this team is in trouble. I mean, DeAndre Hopkins gave him a look like, hey, dog, you don't yell at me, all right? I'm like one of the guys you don't yell at. If you want to yell at, the coach there, Cliff Kingsbury, you can do that, but you can't yell at old DeAndre Hopkins. And shout out to me, and I'm kicking myself for not making it quote unquote an official play, but discussed the value a couple weeks ago on the Seahawks to win the NFC at 48-1. And that's looking pretty good right now as they're top the NFC West. Speaking of the Seahawks, Ken Walker, hit his over rushing prop. Love me some Ken Walker. You can get an autographed Ken Walker jersey courtesy of Pristine Auction. Very easy. YouTube.com/bettingpros. Hit subscribe. Comment on this video. For today's comment, why don't you toss out your favorite player props for Monday night? And shout out to someone yesterday's show. I said throw in your lock for NFL Week 9, and he wrote Bills money line, which is hilarious because I wrote back in the comments section of like, oh wow, really going out on a limb there, and then he followed up with his actual real pick. Meanwhile, Bills money line, as we know, did not hit. Wow, how about those New York Football Jets? All right, here we go. Ravens -1 at the Saints. You can get that -1 over on PointsBet 2 units for me. I'm on the Ravens here. You know, New Orleans the defense has really been up and down. I think a lot of the season numbers kind of get conflated because they shut out that Raiders team, which now we know that Raiders team not very good. They were also dealing with the flu. Ravens, they have Roquan Smith. I think that could give their defense a nice little bump. We'll see how much they get out of him in game 1, but I still like that. I think Isaiah Likely, he's obviously filling in for Mark Andrews. I think that's good for the Ravens that they have someone like that can fill in. And Andy Dalton in prime time. He's now 0-12 straight up. Saints not good in the turnover differential as well. Ravens second best in the NFL. Baltimore offense second in DVOA. Like, it feels like this is a good breakout game for the Baltimore Ravens. And then teams going into the bye, 11-5 against the spread coming into this weekend. And I think you got to add to that because a couple of those teams hit as well, including New England, and I think the Bengals as well. I'll have to update that stat, but teams going into the bye has been strong. Andy Dalton has not, as his 0-12 record in prime time would suggest. Did you guys see the video of Kirk Cousins? There's this new thing with the Minnesota Vikings. Whenever they win, and they've been winning a lot, 7-1 somehow, they have all the guys who have crazy chains and jewelry, they put it around Kirk Cousins. There's a video of him reacting to like wearing the chains. He's shirtless. It's just, it's like if your dad was put into like a rap video. He just looks so comically out of place with these giant chains. His teammates are all laughing at him, and he's just sitting there spinning the bling. Shout out to you, Kirk Cousins. I do like that. I can't understand the Vikings. I'm going to stop fading them, although did have, Commanders +3.5 was the play there. All right. Let's get to the props. 1 unit play on all these 3 props. Isaiah Likely. Love him to get involved in the passing game. Again, tight end is a big part of the passing game. They like Isaiah Likely. They were even using him in some 2 tight end stuff earlier on in the season. His over for receiving yards, 39.5. I like the over here. Obviously, no Mark Andrews there. And, last game with no Mark Andrews, he was 6 for 77. Like he's just a big part of this offense. Lamar's going to get it going. He's going to get a ton of targets. Isaiah Likely over 39.5 receiving yards. Next up, I got Kenyon Drake over 44.5 rushing yards. Again, this is next man up mentality. The Ravens run the ball a lot, like throwing it to the tight ends. And again, Rashad Bateman's out. Like, they're going to have limited options. So I think getting down their props, it's a little bit easier than it is normally. Now, I know Justice Hill might see some snaps there. They have a decent rotation, but Gus Edwards is out. So Kenyon Drake seems to be the lead dog in this situation. Last game, even with Gus Edwards getting double-digit targets in that game, Kenyon Drake still went 7 for 62. So over 44.5 rushing yards, and all these are over on DK. Seems very, very doable for Mr. Drake. Last but not least, on the props, Alvin Kamara. Over 4.5 receptions. That's going to pay a little juice for that one, but to me, it's worth it at -130. He's had 6 or more catches his last 4 games. Ravens found this nugget 5th in the league when it comes to allowing receptions to the running back. They've allowed 50 catches so far, and that's with some with the bye, and I think some of the teams that were ahead of them have even played more games. So I really like Alvin Kamara. He's a big part of their offense as well for the Saints. They drop some design stuff for him. He gets the check down stuff. So over 4.5 receptions feels pretty easy here. Happy to pay the juice at -130. So Alvin Kamara over 4.5 receptions. Kenyon Drake over 44.5 rushing yards. Isaiah Likely over 39.5 rushing yards. Ravens plus one, 2-unit play on the side there. That'll do it. BetMGM.com. Use the promo code JUICE. Follow us on TikTok at Betting Pros. Follow me on Twitter at Sean T. Green. Check out my other podcast. It's simply called the Sports Gambling Podcast. And you know what to do. Subscribe, rate, and review. And as always, don't forget to let it ride.